Hi, it's Steve with StephenArmstrong.ca. We all know that leadership is such a concentrated experience. Everything you do is up for display, on show, all of the time. And your every action, quite frankly, leads to an action within your organization, be it company, not-for-profit, or government. Those actions can lead to your success and failure of your organization. So it's prominent right out there, and we so often land in this place where we really don't know what we're doing because we got promoted because we were good at our old job, and now somebody expects us to be really good at this leadership thing that they've thrown on our plate. You can't learn leadership from all of the tomes of academic work that research how people react and their scientific endeavors. Equally useless to you as a leader is how you can learn leadership from a TED Talk from a great thinker and a great speaker. Don't get me wrong, I watch them all the time. But those guys are giving you a little shot of adrenaline, get you all fired up like a sugar high. And then you go back to your office and you think, how the hell do I ever implement that? So today I want to take a look at skills that you need to really focus on, work on, and endeavor to improve your leadership ability. Because as we said earlier, your leadership skills and your ability to lead has a direct impact on all of the people that work for you, their families, their lives, their dinner plates, and ultimately the survival of your organization. So skill number one is a skill of understanding and being self-aware. As Shakespeare said, paraphrasing, "To thy own self be true." Well, if you're going to be a leader, you have to understand mostly about yourself before you can start leading other people. For example, I know I can be a stubborn, reactive person. I can also have a flare of anger time again. I'm very self-aware. I know my weaknesses. I have no tolerance for incompetence, and I have no tolerance for people that I think operate at a level less than I think they should be able to. So I know that about myself. So I have to build systems around myself to be able to survive that and function as a leader. So take a good close look at yourself. What are people saying to you in a subtle, quiet way that you are missing? So for example, if someone says, "Gee, Steve, you didn't react very well in that meeting," or that was an odd way for you to respond, or your emails are kind of terse or short, you can just say, "Well, that's just the way I am." But they're telling you something. They're sending you a message, and you need to understand that. And either kind of manage that for yourself or develop some tools and skills around you that allow you to work through that. As a leader, we have to understand that a high degree of business acumen. That's a funny word, but really, it's the science of business. It's being able to understand spreadsheets and flow charts and reporting and statistics and understand what those reports and returns are telling you. Understand the management and what you're doing behind the scenes to be able to operate your business. Again, these are all things. You can't go purely on emotion and what you feel is right. You need to be able to understand that there's systems and policies and tools in place that you need to work with to be successful in your role. So build up on your business acumen. Understand. I have a client who is a great person and has done a very good job, but they were actually managing to their budget on the expense side of the budget, and they were right on, but they completely missed the revenue shortfalls, and by missing the revenue side of it, they were not able to operate their business successfully. It's a skill of building relationships. We have to understand that much of what we do is contingent only on our ability to function within the sandbox well and play well with others. Build alliances, strategic and tactical alliances that allow us to do your job. You need to understand that your team, your first instinct is that your team are the people that work for you. Well, that's not right. Your first team are your peers on your personal leadership team and your boss. Your first alliance is to your boss, not to your people. Of course you have to look after your people. Of course you have to manage them and treat them like decent human beings. But if you're not aligned with your boss, you got a real problem. You're not going to be successful. So building relationships, yes, with your team, but more importantly with your peers, your stakeholders within and without the company, with your customers, and most importantly your boss, will allow you to be successful. I used to tell my people when I was head of team that if you don't like change, you shouldn't be here, because we change. So as a leader, you need to be adaptable and agile. And agile is an overused term these days. But really what it means is when you bump into things, that you need to be able to assess it, whether it's a risk, a threat, or an opportunity. And you need to be able to change your plan, change your approach, and be able to attack this situation slightly differently. If the only tool that you have in your toolbox is a hammer, then everything becomes a nail. So learn how to adapt to the situation. The number one thing around being adaptable and agile is this, that when you bump into something that you feel you're going to have to change or make a change, or something's happening around you, is just to stop, take a breath, assess the situation, check it out, figure out what's really happening, and then make a plan. There's very few times in your life that you'll ever have to face a situation that's life and death on a moment's notice. So take advantage of the time that you have in front of you to make a good plan, assess the situation, make a good plan, and then implement a good solution. And when you implement your solution, just remember one other thing, is that your plan is only as good as first contact with the enemy, as we used to say in the military, and the world is out there trying to stop you. So make sure that you're evaluating your progress on the plan and continually fine-tuning and adjusting as you go along. 5 skills will allow you to be a better boss, and you won't be perfect. Sorry about that. You'll just be human, and you're trying hard. And in my experience, people will cut you some slack if you try, you're honest, and you're showing improvement. Where they won't cut you slack is if you're a jerk and figure you know everything there is to know and there's nothing that you can do to improve. So work every minute of every day to be a better boss, better employee, hopefully a better parent, spouse, human being on top of that. So that's what I got for you this week. I hope you all have a great week, and just know that I'm the second easiest guy in Canada to get a hold of if you have a problem or a concern, you want to talk about something. If you're looking for a speaker, a coach, I'm happy to have a conversation. So just visit www.stephenarmstrong.ca. The contact information is all there. How I work is there. My fees are there. And we can have a conversation about all of that to make sure that it's something that suits you best. Anyways, all the best in leadership. Take care. See ya.